last little bit of dessert is...
So this is more my speed. This is my mafia, if you will.
this is the Rob Mafia. So I really love that it's still like freedom35.de. So if anyone's on their phone, they can go to that address. And I guarantee you, freedom35.de is not going to lead to what you think it's going to lead to. Because that's quite the URL. No, this
Freedom 35 sounds like a group, like the SA was trying to take over the Nazi Party again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It also has got a little bit of like I don't know what, it's got like a 90s British band kind of vibe to it as well. Like,
I think you're giving like a little bit too much credit there. Like, at least
Freedom 35 is definitely the name of like a E17 style or step style band.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah. They'd have like one number one hit and then be like very quickly forgotten about.
Eiffel 65 is Italian for Freedom 35. You think?
Yes.
Wait,
there you go.
All right, someone has to introduce what this actually is. So it is a, well, all it says is that it's a startup flat, whatever that means, which basically just seems like this is the most like elaborate roommate finding website you've ever seen.
I cannot stress it off. I said this in chat and Yulia agreed with me because we needed the woman's perspective. This whole thing feels incredibly thirsty. I don't know exactly how, but it feels very thirsty.
Yeah, I see that. Shout out first of all James Jackson on Twitter, who he shared their video which went viral, which is like what, a 2-minute video of their pitch that you can come live with them and do things like talk about cryptocurrency and talk about they love their Myers-Briggs test. They talk about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the absolute most insane thing about this is that, like, it's all the tropes of bullshit startup things. The thing that's just even funnier is that these guys are, like, woefully uncool, but that their entire thing uses psychometrics. So they have these, like, parties and whatever where they just, like, pretty much, like, crunch your data, like, of your brain and try to, like, see if you guys get along or whatever, you know? And
it sounds cool to me. There's a SciTech dinner party. You fill out a survey.
Yep.
I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And I'll let you guys know how it goes. All right. We should also say that this is not far from my apartment and only about a 20-minute walk from where the PPI office is that we discussed with Josh a couple episodes back.
The neoliberal think tank.
I think this is all connected.
Rob always comes in with this is all connected.
Yeah, this is like the Operation Gladio of startups and neoliberal grifting and whatnot.
So I guess I can also describe one little thing which I don't think we've mentioned. I think we kind of thought it was a given because it's a startup flat, but this is a co-living space as well as like just a bunch. Okay, so. Have you ever
finally a squad I can get into?
There,
let's go.
This is the other thing I was thinking. This is like the weird, like Yuli FTP equivalent of a squat. This is what they think a squat is or should be. This is a squat that fills into their politics, but it is a co-living space where not only are you in the co-living space, like a horrible new creation or rebranding of like a thing that Engels got sad about.
We don't like making Engels sad on this show.
We don't like making Engels, but it is like it just reminds me of like this is the modern equivalent of when Engels went to Manchester and saw the people living in the poor houses.
Yeah. But you're rich and you're a fucking tech bro.
Yeah, but you're not rich enough though, because it's always like these co-living spaces charge what should be a normal rent for you have to share a kitchen with like 5 other guys who are really into Bitcoin. Because at the other side of this as well is it's merged the co-living space idea with where you also work. Because you're like one guy, scrappy guy, trying to get your startup off the ground for like, what if we put like, I don't know, what were some of your suggestions that you did on your vision board wall, Nick?
Yeah, I had. I can read them off to you. I was very proud of these. One of them may or may not be stolen from Ciaran. We're not going to get into that. So I had on my vision board. I hope that everyone at home also made a vision board. I have Lola Bunny, startup question mark yes exclamation point. And then this one does not in any way sound familiar to what another host on the show has suggested before, a soup tap. But can you put the soup on the blockchain? So the tap you would have in your house, but access to it would obviously then be done through some fucking shady ass, you have to have like the whatever the equivalent of like the wallet is, and you would be paid in maybe soup. I don't know. Still working it out. Liquid pizza, also blockchain, and then putting sex on the blockchain is also my final. And the last one was obviously Bitcoin question mark because I'm smart.
Yeah, so like all of this kind of like combined in that one space. They also have house parties, which you can apply to go to the house parties. Which
I really
who's
want
ready for some?
to. I really
who's ready
want
for
to.
some fucking gumshoe journalism?
Oh,
I'm already filling out the form.
All we have to do, so what really annoyed me about that video is the guy who explains things to you. I think his name was Ciaran, who explains what this all was wearing what I was wearing, and I felt very seen and heard. He was just wearing like a black t-shirt tucked into like black jeans with a brown belt. I'm like, God damn it. All right, I guess I can blend in. I can be Diane Fossey, and these are my gorillas, and the fucking startup flat is my mist. But yeah, so like, and I think Rob also kind of hinted at this, but all of this is like tied to really dodgy, possibly has their basis in eugenics, psychometrics shit. So like whenever someone's name came up on the video, it would be like their name on the Ciaran, and then underneath their fucking Myers-Briggs test score, like ENTJ or whatever the fuck, ENTJ. I don't know how they correspond, but I do know the Myers-Briggs test was deeply racist in its foundation. I don't know if they've like did a patch update to make it not racist and not really eugenicsy sounding.
I mean,
we measure your brain pan so that you can come live in the.
This is kind of the thing of just don't leave Germans by themselves for too long because they just revert to this bullshit nonstop, and they think it's like the sickest shit ever. Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a form of eugenics. And using eugenics or psychometrics, or the fuck it's called, to then determine who's allowed to live with you or who come to your parties is like the easiest road to fascism, if that already isn't the ideology that you like pretty much adhere to, or you're a like transhumanist or whatever the fuck these like weirdos always are that are just coded different versions of fascism, So
the whole thing is very scam-like because like these are supposedly meant to be like tech-savvy individuals and whatnot, but like most of them are. A lot of people think that like startups are founded by like people who learn programming or whatever, but most often are not. Startups are founded by like the sons of very upper middle class people who think their idea is so good. Like they're all usually business majors who are trying to shortcut their way into being the CEO of something, because they can be CEO before they turn 30 or whatever.
Hell yeah!
And you can.
That's just a fucking can-do attitude that we as socialists and communists don't have.
We lack that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, on their website,
that lobe of our brain.
On their website, hosted by Jan, so you know it's real. They have a meetup. What is anarchy? An intellectual party. Which that sounds great. I'm going to go and talk about seasteading and blockchain and democracies.
They have a fucking seasteading thing.
They love seasteading.
All right.
They also had a live call from the cruise from the. Hold on, let me get the phrasing correct. The crypto cruise ship, the MS Satoshi, and it just sounds. No. I gotta say, you know what I mean. I'm trying to be a neutral observer. I got one side telling me, "Oh, you're a fascist." I got the other side saying, "Hey, come hang out and play games with us." And I gotta say, I'm gonna fill out the form, and maybe they'll accept me.
Yeah, I like.
Let's see how it goes.
The cruise ship thing of just like very much like reminiscent of just like what if like Scientology with Bitcoin.
I really, really, really want to go to their anarchy dinner party and just start like going off about Kropotkin.
So have you read the bread book? And they're like, oh no, they're all just like weirdo fucking objectivists or whatever, and they're just like, oh yeah, like I love Murray Rothbard or whatever the fuck. Or
I'd be really into Nick if you went and just went full like Stalinist on them. It's like you're all just like sex obsessed, not working. You keep starting fires. You're ruining the Russian Revolution.
Oh yeah, no, I'm again, yes, I would absolutely do that. So I'm looking at the video one more time, just kind of a quick over, and there's like things that then either I've noticed or been pointed out to me by friends, and we also watched this on the Trash Future stream a few nights ago.
Did? God damn it, I missed that.
You missed it. It's not my fault that I decided that you decided to kill an entire bottle of what was it like ice cream,
cookie dough
rum. Yeah. So
yes,
the first thing is that they have their logo like written at the top. It says Freedom 35, but for some reason, in weird German fashion, it looks like the font that's over the gas chambers at like every concentration camp.
Sick.
Well, that's. They just like the font. It's a complete coincidence.
They're always like,
I just love writing everything in black letter. Oh, they're just like they're meal prepping as well.
Yeah, and the throwing, like just like tossing.
Everything's getting thrown in this apartment.
Yeah.
Seasteading, Macht, Frei.
Oh no!
And there's just like like the Post-it notes everywhere. Yeah, throwing like the highway signs also like California 1, like the PCH.
Well, that is the saddest thing. I mean, you mentioned the Yulis, but like I think it's sadder than that because the Yulis, at least, they're more like the equivalent of like nerds who are like, whoa, I'm a political nerd in Germany. Like they're gonna climb the ranks, Like I don't know if they line up politically, but they're. Whether they acknowledge it or not, their idol is like I've been in the U.S. too long. I blanked on his name. The dorky kid in the CDU.
Oh, Philipp Amthor.
Yeah, exactly. Amthor.
Yeah,
I almost said Armin Laschet, the other guy. Yeah, Philipp Amthor. And these guys are more like I was born. I was a German boy. I was born in the wrong country. They're like the YouTube commenters. They wish that they could go to Silicon Valley, and some of them do. Yeah. And then they're like, "I'm going to invent the next great app." They talk about like the next big thing, the same way that people talk about like, "Oh, Legit's the next big thing." And it's like, really, is it the next big thing, or are you just looking for something to pass the time?
Yeah, I love the like multiple paintings of Louis Armstrong in their house.
There was a sale, and you had to buy in bulk.
Well, that's like Louis Armstrong is the ultimate like I care about like, cultural history.
No fucking joke. This dude literally just has blockchain written on a whiteboard with a fucking question mark.
Yes, it's so good.
I see democracy on blockchain. I can't do the voice.
So going back to the whole like these people aren't probably very tech savvy people, is that their website relies on like the free Google Forms thing to fill out. Like if you want to go to the Freedom 35 dinner party, which are these like actual in-person things? Are you trying to do in-person events right now? Because that's not kosher. But like that's all being done via fucking Google Forms, which is like if you were a tech person, you'd be able to bang out like a form on your website in like 5 minutes.
They're the ideas guys, Ciaran. That's not their thing.
Yeah, exactly. They think they're the ideas guys. They can't make things. A lot of these people just have to be saying blockchain, not really knowing that like blockchain is like kind of dead in the startup scene.
Blockchain,
now. Like
swag, blockchain, swag,
like
blockchain.
Insight into Ciaran's life, I'm familiar with like startups to a certain extent because my career has been a cursed travesty. But the like if you're a startup that includes blockchain on your like your pitch to angels investors and stuff like that, there was a point before like 2019 or so where that would get you money, but then New Year's 2019. Like all the blockchain stuff collapsed, and now it's like considered poison. if your startup pitch has blockchain written on. Like, it's you saying blockchain to a bunch of people who don't, like, as someone who doesn't understand blockchain to a bunch of people who don't understand blockchain.
My
but
girl
like all
on the blockchain. Swag.
All the investors know that that's like fucking poison now, and they're not going to invest in that. So, and getting back to the thirst thing, yeah, the second question in any of these forums is like, what is your gender? And this isn't a like woke list. It's like male, female. I guess they have another option.
I think it's just because Google automatically gives you the other option.
It's possibly that, but they're looking for women to come.
Yeah.
And
best thing also too. Sorry, I'm going looking at the video one more time. Above his room, I think our boy's name is Jan, is it not? Or
I believe so. Yes.
He does have haters gonna hate. See you at 6:30. I don't know what that means. Over his bedroom.
Where he does all his works.
Yeah.
All right. So, hobbies, interests, and passions. I have to fill that out. What would you be doing in 15 years if everything goes perfectly according to plan? Jesus.
Leading the Cultural Revolution.
Seasteading.
The answer to all of these questions is seasteading. Who is your role model, seasteaders?
I'm just curious. Do they have because you know about like the so it's like Scientology has that boat that like goes. I don't know if it still goes around the world, but they have like the Scientology cruise ship, and they had like a jazz band on board that would like release a shit ton of music. Like, do they have something like that? Like, can I offer up my services of like I will play bass in the Seasteading cruise ship band that then is going to release these like blockchain albums or whatever. Like, yeah,
can you come along and be like, I'm going to make the first blockchain in-house label for Freedom 35?
That would go so horribly wrong.
I know, but like they would accept that pitch.
Oh God, imagine selling a record label as being like, yeah, it's on the blockchain. Oh my God, that's what I'm gonna write them. That's what I'm gonna write them. Holy shit! I'm filling out the form, and I'm gonna do the first ever blockchain record label.
Why do you want to come to this party? I want to discuss seasteading with like-minded people.
I was just gonna put because it'd be funny. Honesty is the best policy.
That's good, Rob. Seriously, some gumshoe journalism needs to happen at this fucking party. Honestly, though, I really get the feeling that we need like an Instagram model to go on our behalf, because like I get the impression from all these guys that anyone of that kind of like caliber or that forward or confident in their own looks would just get accepted instantly by these people. The whole thing feels very thirsty.
Yeah. Well, if you are an Instagram model and you do listen to our show, we are just kind of like, yelling out into the darkness, I think. Let us know, and we will hook you up with a quarter Späti wire so you can go to this party.
What we want you to do is to go and report back on what it was like. We'd also like to hope that we're not sending you to your death in some capacity.
Yeah. Which is why we need to have a wire so that we can monitor not, them, but your safety.
Do you believe in free will? Yes, no, not sure.
God, this is like the Justin Bieber contract that he makes everyone sign before he goes to a party. That then like anything that happens, it's like a what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas sort of clause that he has. That then everyone who goes to a Justin Bieber event has to sign, so that then he can't be liable for anything.
I really like the idea that like I'm really hoping at the end when I fill out this form, it will tell me which person in Startup House I am, like which character from Startup House I am. You're such a Jan, like for fuck's sake.
Yeah, there is only Jan. The thing that then also like just on one last note about these guys is that this whole video of them really like the kind of vibe that it gives me is the like Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good and Want to Learn to Do Other Stuff Good Too thing. It's so not well made, and it seems like a parody within itself that it can only I can only watch it as like, oh hey, do you want to be a startup boy? Like there is no other way of looking at this, but they think that they're like actually that they think they're actually cool. And
that is the tragedy here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is really. Yeah, like it is. This
is a really good parody. If you knew you were doing a parody,
it is the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good. It is that, but it's a startup now.
Oh God damn it. This is what they've taken from us. That would have been like, back in the 90s, post like end of history type of thing. These things would have been funded by like one eccentric model with a shit ton of money. But now it's all just like angel finance, like overly financialized.
I thought you were going to say angels and airwaves. I'm like, oh no.
It's angels and airwaves. Yeah, fuck it. That does lead me to the question of like, where the fuck is this money coming from? Like, how have they managed to like buy? Unless they're not like are they the Hapt meter? Is there a landlord involved in this?
I bet that it's that like one of their dads owns the place and they're probably like renting it. I mean, like, because I think it is a sense that then maybe it's that they came into this apartment through someone in their family. I mean, it's not. Yeah. It's a nice apartment. Don't get me wrong, but it isn't like it could have been something that then was just like. I mean, they like that. One of them has to have be wealthy, and one like this Jan dude obviously gives off like the vibe of like probably wealthy background, just dumb dude who can just like never fuck up in his life because he'll always have a safety net. So it has to be some thing like that, like someone in the apartment, either like their parents own it or it's like part of like their grandparents owned it, like.
Now that you pointed out that like so many paintings of Louis Armstrong, I can't stop seeing. It's like a fun game.
I'm into music, guys. So who do you like?
Yeah.
This is just Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong is the like ultimate like I'm into music guy who's not really into music.
Yeah. I mean, come on, at least like get into like John Coltrane. Like at least have be a little bit more experimental. Fucking nerd.
God, this sucks so much. I hate this.
Yeah.
But we have to get in. We have to go. Yeah. I think Rob might be ahead of us on this.
Yeah,
we have to go.
We're going to try a variety of tactics and see what works.
Yeah, because it's just a Google form. There's no fucking security.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too, is that they also like don't give a shit about like data security shit, which is like such fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
Like they even say in their video, it's like, oh, your data? Well, fuck it, whatever, we don't care. It's like, oh, okay, like you guys are psychos,
Well, that is like sicko mode German liberal. Yeah. It's just like you're the same as every other German liberal.
Yeah, Datenschutz, 9.
Do I dare say thick it? Oh.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you're right. That is absolutely a German going sicko mode. Is just like not caring about their Datenschutz. Yeah, fucking like Jürgen, like 38 years old, like horrible receding hairline, but just doesn't give a shit about his Datenschutz.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't even like. I use the same password for everything. Going mad, sicko German mode.
Oh, yeah. Well,
password for everything is Seasteading.